Good evening, and welcome to the Cozy Storyteller. My name is Emily Wren. Tonight's story is a point of view about a fairy on one rainy night, and is written by me, Emily Wren. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and gently boop the little bell icon. That way, you'll get a notification every time I upload a new story. This helps grow the channel so that I can write and read new stories to help you fall asleep or just relax. So turn off the light and snuggle down deep in your blankets with your favorite plush animal and enjoy the story. The rain falls softly against the window panes of diamond-leaded glass. The Lombardy poplar sways gently back and forth, the soft leaves sometimes brushing against the windows of your study. It's been raining all day and doesn't look as if it's going to let up anytime soon. Thunder rumbles, but it's far away in the sky as lightning jumps from one black-gray cloud to another. A fire crackles in your fireplace, bathing the room in a homey orange-red glow. It's late in the evening, but tomorrow will be as uneventful as today has been. So you relax in your favorite wing-backed armchair with your feet propped up on a red and gold tasseled footstool, enjoying the warm fire. Peaceful instrumental music plays on the little wooden radio you have sitting on a small pie table next to your chair. It's quite old, but reliable, and you rarely touch the dial, but leave it on the same station that plays a continuous stream of composers such as Bach, Mozart, Haydn, and Chopin. You have a large book in your hands that you must have read a dozen times, if not more. The binding has worn loose, and the pages have grown far more pliable than they had been when you first bought the book. But it is in good condition despite all that. The cover is a deep red with hand-tooled leather and gold embossing. When you first opened the book, you pressed your nose deep into the pages and smelled the ever-familiar sweet musky scent. There are few better perfumes than the smell of books. You had not read very far in the book before your eyes begin to droop and burn with the desire of sleep, and your head nods forward, your chin squishing against your chest. The book drops from your hands to your lap as your grip lightens. The sounds of the storm, the music, and the fire lull you into a sort of half-sleep until one of the logs in the fireplace burns through and clunks as it breaks in two. You open your eyes and blink lazily before letting out a large yawn. You look down at the book lying in your lap and see there's a small creature sitting there bent over the letters. It takes you a moment to realize that it's a fairy. She glows slightly like a faded firefly and has wings that sparkle in a way that no butterfly could compete. Her hair is wavy, long, and brown, and she's wearing a dress sewn from rose petals with a small pouch strung across her chest that looks to be made from rose leaves. She does not see that you have woken up, and indeed you wonder if you have yourself. But you do not move. You feel as if you even so much as breathe. She will vanish right before your eyes. She scoots herself down the page as she goes from word to word. Then when she stands to move on to the next page, she turns around and meets your gaze. "Oh," she gasps, but she does not move. "Hello, I hope you don't mind. It was raining outside, and I saw the glow of your fire, so I came in." It takes you a minute to find your voice, but when you do, you say, "No, make yourself at home. Stay as long as you like." "Oh, I'm glad," she says, fluttering her wings as she smiles. Then she looks back down at the book she's standing on. "What is this book about?" You return her smile and tell her all about the book, and she looks up at you enraptured by how your face lights up as you talk about one of your favorite stories. You pause, then say, "How about I read some of it to you while you wait for the rain to pass?" "I would love that," she says emphatically. "Would you like some tea and cookies first?" you ask. "Oh yes," she replies, then glides over to the small green pie table next to your armchair. You leave momentarily to get water from the kitchen, then hang the kettle on the hook in the fireplace. As you wait for the water to boil, you prepare your teacup. Then looking at the fairy, who is now standing on the tea trolley next to you, wonder what would make an acceptable teacup for a fairy. Then you remember the tiny decorative tea set on the fireplace mantel, with tiny bunnies painted on the miniature cups, saucers, and teapot. You wash out one of the cups and saucers, then set it next to your normal-sized teacup. The firelight dances across the porcelain surface. You measure out the rich, earthy tea leaves from the tin and fill up the tea strainer ball with them. The fairy peeks over the edge of the tin, smelling the aroma of the tea leaves. "That smells wonderful," she says. "Yes, I only purchased the best tea," you respond with a smile. At this point, the water in the kettle has reached a nice boil. You pour the water into the teapot, steam writhing up in white tendrils. You tell the fairy your name, then ask her what hers is as you put the top back on the teapot. "I'm Elida," she says as she spreads her skirt and curtsies. "I live in the garden below. Are there others who live out there?" you ask a mild curiosity. "Oh yes," she says. "But they all went and hid themselves in the great tree. I fell asleep in my rose and didn't notice it had started to rain until it was far too wet to make it to the tree." "Well, you are very welcome to stay until it dries up out there," you reply. You pour the tea first into her cup, then into your own. "Would you like cream, sugar?" "Both, please," she replies. You put just a dot of cream in her cup, then cut off a corner of a sugar cube for her. There's a plate of cookies covered with a glass dome also on the trolley. You made them earlier in the day, and the house still smells faintly of the scent. You break apart a cookie and put it on her saucer. She takes both the teacup and the saucer and flutters back over to the arm of the chair. You finish preparing your own tea and set it down on the pie table. The tea is a dark ruddy brown and steams up in tendrils of white vapor. You fix yourself back into the armchair and open up the book. "How about I start from the beginning," you say, as you flip to the pages of the first chapter. The rain continues to fall as you begin to read, pausing only for a sip of your tea or a nibble of your cookie. Elida is enraptured by the story and laughs with a tinkling laugh. You read late into the night,